In my early 30s, and for a lot of people in their 30s or early 40s, you're going to look at your life and you want to make a change. And for a lot of people, this means losing their dad bod or getting a six pack. For some, it's making a career transition. Either way, you want to make a fundamental change in your life, and it's rooted in a desire to be the man you always thought you'd be. And I'm here to tell you, you're probably going to fail. And it's not because you can't lose the weight or get the six pack, but because you're trying to solve for the wrong problem. Over the last 10 plus years of coaching, I've had the same conversation over and over and over again. A person will come to me and say their goal is fat loss or they want to get a six pack. But after 5 minutes of talking back and forth, we both realize that the actual goal that they're talking about is more core to the human experience. They want to feel respected or admired or desired or feel competent or confident in their skin. And as men, that feels scary to admit. There's a book that I read when I was in my early 30s that changed my life. It was called Falling Upward by Richard Rohr. It explains that we have two lives. The first half is about building the container. It's what people see. So you build your character, your job, your reputation, and you're essentially curating this resume of what you've accomplished and hope it translates to a well-lived life. And in your case, in many cases, if someone asks you about your life right now, you'd probably say, I have a good job. I have a great family. I have nothing to complain about. And this is what we all say. The gather around the water cooler. It's what we all say. We tell our family or our buddies, we're fine. And when we look at it on paper, we think we should be fine. We should be happy. But something's still missing. You're still longing for something. So you go and you still chase the six pack or the next raise or religion, whatever, hoping it solves for that void that you're feeling. Because all you know is building up and reinforcing the container. It's how people perceive you. That's all you know, but it doesn't work. And for some of you that have tried this over and over again, you know it's not working. This is what Rohr calls the transition into the second half of life. The container, the accomplishments, they just start losing their effectiveness. So the things that used to make you feel successful now feel like just another thing on the to-do list. It's like maintenance almost. And instead, you have to start asking better questions. Questions like, what is the legacy I'm going to leave? And not in terms of money, but how will you be remembered? Will people just list your accomplishments or how you made them feel? Questions like, am I really happy or just busy? And what I'm going to tell you is that the reason you have the gut right now or think you have body dysmorphia or whatever is because you haven't asked these better questions. You haven't dared to really understand why you do what you do. And when you do, you'll quickly start to see how all the things you wanted in the first half of life become so much easier to get. I always say getting a six pack and maintaining it is easy once you start becoming more aware of what drives you. And this is something that took me years to realize and to truly understand is that everything we do is rooted in a desire to get one of these eight things. And I want to walk through these eight things because one of them is running your life right now. And it's probably more than one. And I guarantee you never really looked at it from this perspective. And once you do, you'll see how it just translates into everything. The first one is respect. You want to be respected. You want to be looked at with admiration. A lot of guys, we get into the gym, not because we actually care about health, but because we just want to impress other men and have other people respect us for having a great body. And we think a great body says that. So we want to be respected. We want to be respected in our homes and for the work we do. So respect. The second is competence. We like feeling good at what we do. We like feeling like we know how to do things. And this is a huge trap for people in their 30s and 40s because you spend 10 plus hours at work and because you're good at it. you know the answers. You're respected there. You look at the gym or your diet and you're not great there. You feel like a beginner. So you get frustrated and you feel incompetent. And we don't like to feel incompetent. So you stop going to the gym. You maybe stay up late or always come up with a really good excuse why your nutrition or fitness sucks. I know this happens when I try to do stuff around the house. I don't feel confident in using tools in a certain way. So I get frustrated. Third is freedom. You don't want to be controlled, which makes a lot of sense. This is why people strain away from diet. It's this like, I deserve this thing that you tell yourself. And it's just not I just want that freedom. I don't want to be tied to anything. Fourth is purpose. You want to feel a part of something. So this is why men join clubs or church groups and volunteer. We just like feeling part of something bigger. Fifth is brotherhood or community. We are social creatures. That's how we survive this long. And when you're around your buddies or coworkers and there's that fork in the road, like, do you have the other beer? Do you have the other pizza? Whatever it is, in your mind, subconsciously, there's a risk between, do I do the healthy path or do I risk like ruining this community or brotherhood? And I know it's not real, but we still feel that. Six is the desire. We want to be wanted. You want your wife to look at you the way she does those like rom-com characters, and you want to feel desirable. And when you don't feel that at home, you try to manufacture it with flowers or changing your appearance or something. Seventh is peace. We crave calmness. And the eighth is legacy. You want to be remembered for something great. And every action that we do is rooted in our pursuit to get one or more of these. Absolutely everything. And the problem you've had up to now is that you're pursuing these goals without knowing that this was the end goal you were chasing. You thought the job was about having a great career and getting the American dream, but it was probably about earning respect and feeling competent at something. You thought the six pack was about just looking fit, but it's probably about wanting desire or wanting to be desired or wanting to be admired. So you chase what you thought was the right goal with the wrong strategy, and you end up frustrated and exhausted. And that exhaustion results in binges or skipping workouts or snapping at your kids or never feeling like enough. And people talk about mental load. This is what creates that. It's chasing a goal that's rooted in who we are as a person with the wrong strategy. I want to make sure I'm clear on this. There's nothing wrong with chasing the six pack, chasing the marathon or the next $1 million, or go do all that. Those are still good goals. All I'm saying is they may be first half of life goals, but that doesn't make them a bad goal. All I'm saying is you can make it so much easier on yourself when you take a step back and start looking at your life through this lens of why you do what you do. What is it that you're really aiming for? And think through how to achieve those core desires in a healthier way so you don't burn out. And when you're looking to feel respected, are you doing the things that you said you'd do? Especially those like silent commitments we don't tell anybody about, that I'm going to do this tomorrow. I'm going to do that. We often don't do those. I lose respect for myself, and that carries into other things. Or if we want to be desired from my wife, do I actually listen to her? Or am I like trying to fix something? And I'll always say, like, when it comes to my wife, a quick makeout session solves a lot of relationship problems because she wants to feel close. We want to feel close. And the second half of life is about looking at the why you do what you do and finding better strategies to achieve it. I'll tell you, I don't have all the answers to this. I'm still figuring it out. I still make a lot of mistakes. But in that pursuit to figure out what is that best version of me, I created an app to help me. It gives me some good structure because without that structure, it's chaos. And if I'm trying to solve something chaotic and complicated like this with a chaotic and complicated system, I'm going to fail. And at 5 p.m. on a Tuesday, when my boss yells at me and the traffic is bad and my kids are screaming, willpower motivation isn't a strong system to rely on. So the app gives me the guardrails to keep me on track because I know the man that I want to be is strong and healthy. So I built the app to give me personalized workouts and nutrition. I know the man that I want to be has a great relationship with my wife and kids. So there's a section that encouraged me to ask deeper questions, to do some good reflection. And I'll start really rearranging and rewiring that internal narrative. And I also know I can't do this on my own. So one of the core desires is a community. And in the app, I have a strong community of guys that push me to be better. And I do the same for them. There's a list of 10 healthy habits I try to check off each day, and it's not a coincidence that when that trend line goes up, I feel better about how I'm showing up in the world. And when that trend line for those healthy habits goes down, I start feeling like crap. I binge on foods and drinks and whatever it is. So I needed a simple system to keep me in line. And I built this for me to help me stay in line with who I wanted to be. And then eventually I started giving it to my one-on-one clients because I thought it's helpful to have a system. So now I'm offering up to you. And if you need that kind of structure, if you need a simple system to give you personalized workouts, personalized nutrition, while also having a system to transition into that second half of life smoothly, it's in the link below. But I need to be clear about this. The app isn't a magical tool. It's not going to fix your life. You still have to do the work. You still have to face what's underneath everything you do. And I know guys don't normally admit that this is the thing that they're dealing with. They don't like to say, I'm incompetent with this stage of life because it's scary, it's vulnerable. You're going to have to face questions that you've probably avoided for a long time. But this is what the life you have is asking of you. This is the second half of life. It's asking you to show up better. The better man that you want to be doesn't appear by having more actions. The better man that you want to be is a result of asking better questions and dealing with those better questions. And right now, I'm just trying to make the logistics of how you do that and how you transition that second half of life just a little easier. That's why we're offering up the app.